Good. We're going live. All right.
Let's see.
We're live.
Okay.
Good
Okay.
morning. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for watching us and for tuning in with us again this morning. My name is Dr. Olabintan, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Livingspring Family Medical Center here at the good city of Mansfield, Texas. And we're here again this Saturday morning. It's early. To have conversations in line with our motto to help our patients live long and well, because we believe the quality of life is just as important as the quantity of life. And I'm really excited today to have with us Dr. Lum Frundi. I'm a big fan. I've been watching and stalking her from afar. And I finally asked her and said, "Hey, Doc, I love your vibe. Would you come and have this conversation on Doc? How do I get my family on board with healthy habits without feeling so stressed?" Doc, thank you for coming. Nice to chat with you and welcome. How are you?
I'm doing well, and thank you for inviting me. I have been stalking you too in the background, and I love what you do. So,
Thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Now, our first question to you for the audience is, Doc, who are you and what do you do?
okay, so I am Dr. Lum Frundi. I am a pediatrician and founder of Generational Wellbeing, where I help mothers create sustainable, healthy habits for themselves and their families, especially those who have a history or family history of a chronic disease condition like high blood pressure, obesity, diabetes. Just giving them that empowerment that your genetics alone is not all that is to it. There are certain things that you can do to change that narrative for yourself and your family from
Mm.
disease to wellness.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Now, one of the things that I love about the thing that you do, I know you're a pediatrician, but I love that your goal is to partner, and I quote this, with mothers to raise healthy, confident, and well-rounded children. I love your goals. You also discuss how emotional well-being is tied to physical health, and you discuss how immediate gratification can lead to addictive behaviors that may be sabotaging health goals, leading to stress and anxiety. You help them by providing healthy coping strategies and simple routines to help start and maintain nutritional and fitness goals that will improve mental health. I wanted to highlight that because that's very, very big. I love what you do, but I'm curious, Doc. Why do you do what you do? I know you're Patricia, but why do you do what you do?
Okay, so there are different reasons, personal, both personal and based on what I do. So I'll start on the personal level. So I too have that family history of chronic disease. High
Mm,
blood pressure runs in my family, both on both sides. And my older sister in her 30s had a heart attack, right? That's how strong that is. And after I had my baby about 5, 6 years ago, I too had preeclampsia, ended up high blood pressure, and started on medication. So I did not like how the medicines made me feel. So I
mm,
decided I needed to start practicing what I've been preaching to my patients, right? And as I started doing that, I became more aware on how I was communicating with my families and really listening in and leaning into what kinds of conversations we're
mm,
having.
mm,
I'll have maybe a family too with a family history of maybe diabetes coming into me. And we're having these conversations in front of the families, telling me, oh, let's do the blood work to see if they have the diabetes yet, because it runs in the family, as though it's something that we're just waiting. It's an occurrence we're waiting to happen. It's something that is
mm.
expected. Besides, okay, what can we do to make sure that my kids do not end up with
Right,
that diagnosis?
right.
So, and as I started doing the work, I started, personally facing the kind of challenges, started doing that. Okay, what can I do to do this? How can I overcome it? And as I was doing it, I was teaching it, and it became really fun and exciting, especially when you see those wins and you get back to kids and parents. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. And I love that in helping the kids or to help the kids, you're empowering the parents and you're having conversations on
Correct.
how to help. And we know that, a lot of times, mostly the women are the core of the home. They're the one who pull everyone together when it comes to healthy habits. So if the women are doing it, there's a higher chance that the whole family will do it. So I
Correct.
love that you're having these conversations. And a lot of guests, I see this pattern a lot where a personal story is usually what starts or what pushes them into launching out, into doing the things they're doing when it comes to helping empower others to make better health decisions. So power to you. You're a living
Right.
example of what's possible.
Right.
And I just noticed you have gap teeth too. Yeah.
I do. I'm loving
I
yours
know, I
too.
know. Sorry. Sorry, I know that's not what we're talking about, but I was like, oh my goodness, I did remember that changing. All right, so here's my first question to you. Our topic is on, establishing a family, with healthy habits. And I get this conversation a lot with parents, especially moms. They're like, yeah, my family is like, yeah, you're on your own. So what are common challenges when starting healthy habits as a family? What would you say are the most common challenges that you see?
Okay, I'll talk about the two big ones. I
Okay.
think the first one is really the discomfort that comes with it. It's that mindset. The biggest challenge is really owning that discomfort, the idea that, oh, we've already been, so nothing is going to work. I've tried this, it's hard and stuff. So when you have that mindset already, it's the biggest challenge to overcome. The second one is the environment. Environment meaning the people you're hanging around with. If we've lived together for all these years, we're doing exactly what our parents have done. We're surrounding ourselves with the people who are doing the same thing. It's challenging to step out of that. And then also coming with environment too, there's adverts everywhere, right? Anywhere you turn, you have someone talking about this big supersized burger and extra fries and large drinks for cheaper.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So when they're promoting that, not only to you, they're promoting the juices and all of those things to the kids. It's hard. It's like a battle uphill, whether it's your personal or the environment. It takes a lot just to overcome that hump.
Those are two big ones. The discomfort, um,
Right.
and that discomfort can present in different ways. Like, oh my gosh, I've tried everything. This may not work. Or some say, I gotta eat bird food, and I'm not gonna enjoy my food anymore. That I must suffer to be healthy. And
Right.
mm, and then the environment. Yes, you tend to. It makes it harder if you're the only one who seems to be on this wavelength of I got to do better, and everything around you is like saying no, you don't. No, no, you don't. We're good. Now let's talk
Right.
habits. um so those are the challenges. So you have someone who's watching, who's a mom right now, who's saying, yes, I've sat in the discomfort. I know that something needs to be done. I know it may not be easy, but I know it's doable. And my environment is an issue. What are tips, let's say as a mom, for incorporating it, especially when you have younger kids? What would you say to that mom who's like, okay, where do I start? What do I do?
I usually tell them start in your home, start with what you can control. So, say if you are a mom who you're the person who's shopping, you go to the grocery stores, you do all the shopping. I'll start by replacing those crackers and chips and all those snacks with just fruits, right? Because we need a certain number of servings of fruits each day. So, replace the snacks with fruits. Stop the juice, high sugar. It doesn't matter if it's 100%, there's a lot of sugar in there, and start replacing it with water. That's where I start, environment. And then I also say structure. Kids love routine, they actually crave routine. And if they're in the habit of just grazing and eating whenever, without any structure around it, you will have kids who are grazers and they can pretty much copy you grazing as well. But if you have a routine where, okay, we're going to have breakfast at this time, I mean, being flexible with it, we have snacks at this time, lunch and dinner, it sets it where everybody's in the same place and everybody knows what to expect, when to expect. Of course, there'll always be that discomfort, but if you are consistent with those two things, it goes a long way.
I love this. Be careful not to breed grazers.
Right, right.
I hear you loud and clear. Just eating all
Right.
throughout the day.
Right.
Structure. Man, very, very simple but powerful strategies. Remember, they would eat what
Right.
your family would eat most of the time, was accessible to them. give them a lot of healthy options: fresh fruit, dried fruit, raisins,
Right.
fresh fruits
Right.
and vegetables, different colors. Give them access to it. Um, and I have someone who's watching who's like, well, the kids are not really the issue. It's my husband. That's just the difficult. Like it's hard. He's like, no, I'm not doing that. No, I'm not doing that. Like, what would you say are tips for him?
Oh, I hear that a lot. So, so what I usually say is, if it's the husband and he doesn't want to be in the plan, have him lock up his snacks, hide it somewhere, keep it in his trunk, away from the household, because the kids. If the kids are seeing one person doing it, they'll always question that you're doing it. Why can I not do it? And then learn from what we do and not what we say. So you have to model it. You have to tell him to say, hey, this is where we're going. If you're not on board, that's fine, but just keep it at work if you have to. But I'll let them see it.
Yeah, parents have to model what their kids what they want their kids to do. One of the tips I give to usually the moms, usually rarely the dads or the husbands, is sell them to like sell their why, sell them on a why. So
Right.
you want to enjoy your 40s, your 50s together, traveling around the world in good health. You want to be able to spend all that money you're saving for retirement to enjoy in good health. Well, health investments need to be made. So I tell them you got to sell them on their why, and hopefully that can encourage them to see. And also they should, the wives, the moms should keep doing it as they feel better, as their husbands see them transform. That could be a motivation for them to also join the bandwagon. Something of a like a positive peer pressure.
Absolutely, because the mistake is we try to fight with them, right? And
Mhm.
go power on, but when you go on with force and pressure, there's always that resistance. So I love selling the why, and you keep doing it as they see that transformation, they're more likely to jump on, as
Mhm.
opposed to constantly and consistently fighting it.
Fighting. Exactly. Now let's talk exercise. So you've had a conversation with the mom, like, child needs to be more active. How do they become, and the mom is like, I already have a lot of things to do between taking them to different games that they have to do and this and that and that. I don't know when I'm going to find the time to go exercise. What would you say to that mom who's listening to you?
Um, Two things. The first one is, sell them again. When you exercise, you have a lot more energy. You're more focused. You're more alert. There's no brain fog. So eventually, you end up saving time on the back end. When you're more alert, you accomplish your task a bit faster. You're not trying to remember, where did I do that? You're not as disorganized. So that's, to say I don't have time, that's actually going to save time eventually. Secondly, if your kids are already in activities, and you can use that time to walk around the track. I've done that so many times, where I can drop off my kid in dance, and I'm just running around the building. I'm there, but I'm not there. Run around the building once, check in. You guys are good. Run around the building twice. And a lot of parents are also there with you, where if, say, something were to happen to your kid, someone is always going to call you. That's the thing about motherhood, right? We're
Mhm.
all, once you meet mothers who are doing the same and on the same journey with you, they get you. They will work with you. I've had it where it was in a time where I ran around the building. By the time I came back, it's like, your daughter wanted to use the restroom. I took her out there. It's okay. I'm like, that's fine. I'll do the same thing if it were your daughter and I knew what you were doing, right?
Mhm.
So finding that community and doing multiple tasks at the same time until you find that time for me eventually.
I love that. Leverage community, batch it. You're already there anyway. Make the most of it. I love it. I love it, dog.
Right.
This is great. Now let's talk water intake. All right. We meet adults who are versed to water. Like, yeah, what? I actually had a client tell me no, that they were not going to drink water. That's not something that they do. Of course, I'd sell them on the why water is important and different ways to trick yourself into drinking water. But let's talk water intake. How do you encourage that as a family? Like tips, hacks, help us, Doc.
So, like, that is a tough one. I think I've had parents change a lot of things, but the water is usually the last one because, again,
Mm,
your taste buds, it has to be your taste buds. Once you're introduced or you're very familiar with something really sweet, even coming back, say, even if it's a fruit juice, you drink fruit juice and go get a strawberry, the strawberry tastes horrible, right? So that initial discomfort, whether it's putting in fruits in that bowl to
mm,
have some kind of a sweet taste, or putting in herbs or there's celery and different things to kind of freshen it up, and just knowing that you don't have to go all full force immediately. Just start taking sips. Make it a point to say, I am going to sip or drink water during meals, and then have like whatever. But as you keep doing it and you expose the water, your taste buds eventually change. Your taste buds, just like every other cell in your body, has like a life, uh, a lifespan, right, of its own. So, but once you keep introducing it, as your taste buds change, when you go back to the sweet stuff, it's just like, oh, I can't believe I was actually
yep.
drinking that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
As far as the kids, I start out with diluting out the juice,
Okay.
just a little bit, dilute it out and slowly, because the same thing with the kids, to see what you do, to see the faces you make with water. When I start talking about water, you see the mom's face like, oh, water. And the kid is watching you, right?
Yeah.
Oh, water. And then you give them water, they're throwing that bottle at you, like, what are you thinking? But just, again, what am I really modeling for my kids? Is
Mm,
this something I can really push myself through for me, but for my kids too? So again, back to that why. When your why is beyond you, when your why is onto your
mm,
kids, when your why is for
mm,
your legacy, you're
mm.
more likely to say, okay, I'm going to start. I'm going to drink 1 cup of water today. That's it.
I love it. I love it. When you remember your why, you remember your legacy. When you realize that these things, these decisions are beyond you. It helps
Right,
motivate you. It helps keep the goals in view. And start with 1 cup of water. 1 cup of water.
right.
Just start. Just start. I love it.
Right? Because when you start thinking, I have to drink like 64 ounces a day,
So
it's just like, yeah, we're not doing that.
you feel like you're drowning. You feel like you're drowning. Like, oh my God, that's so much water. Um, I
Right,
wanted to speak to one thing you said about, legacy. At the time, I didn't appreciate it as a child much. Some of the habits my mom kind of, and then more so, we didn't really have a choice. My mom would make soy milk out of soybeans. We'd drink that. When we got, like, if I got the best grade, I was rewarded with a fruit, not with candy or cookie. And so it became second nature. So now it's not so much of a hassle to eat fruit. Is normalized as part of growing up. And so I want to encourage our moms, those who will watch hashtag live, hashtag replay. I forgot to say that earlier. That don't give up. This is to help empower your kids to establish healthy habits so that they're not faced with the same challenges maybe you as an adult are facing right now because those things were not done. I'm not faulting parents here. I'm just saying everybody had different priorities or different, backgrounds. But that was very, very, very helpful for me. Eating romaine lettuce as a snack, like just chewing it randomly, is not a big deal for me because that's what we did. Be encouraged, all right?
right,
And everyone can change. We're such dynamic beings. God is amazing how He made us. That anyone can change. Even you can get to actually adapt to water. May not go yippity yippity do when you do it, but you don't find it so
right.
appalling as you practice. Doc, I have one more question for you. It's now more, what are other tips? Do you have any quick nuggets that you want to share with our viewers who are like, whew, this sounds like a whole lot. I'm already assuming or anticipating the pushback. Any tips for that? Maybe that mom who's watching who's like, I don't know, Dr. Lum Frundi. What would you say?
I would say your kids are assets, not liabilities. I would say, again, it's not about looking on the outside, looking at what you have. When I talked about having structure, I
Mm,
like where you come back to your family, like, what are my family values? What are my goals? You'll be amazed at how your kids' input will help you forward. Where if we tell them, okay, this is what we are going to start doing, we're going to start eating together, because believe it or not, they crave your attention, right? Once we start eating together, it's like every time I start, I stop. Have those kids be your accountability partners. My kids call me out all the time. Every time I start steering off, which we were gonna do it. Every now and then, life happens. But your kids will tell you the truth and remind you, but mommy, didn't you say we're not going to do da 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 da? and that and that goes back to the emotional well-being, where they feel, again, it's coming inside, where I feel like a part of the family. I feel taken care of. There's that consistency. I feel that sense of belonging. So everything is tied together. So yes, life is chaotic, but you can make it work in your home. You can use the tools you have. You can use your accountability partners, your kids, to help you push you forward.
I love it. Essentially, what Dr. Lum said is have a family meeting, have a discussion, and have them often, and discuss, and be empowered. You'll be surprised
Right.
that they're more ready than
I
you
have them
anticipate.
often. And
Well, you're going to say something.
exactly. And it could be time with meal times too. So no, I said it can be with meal times too, right? So if we have that structure, we're having dinner at this time together, take away all those devices. Let's start talking about it. So you're not looking for extra time to add on, but you're using that meal time for you to sit down, for you to talk to them like, okay, what are you thinking about this? This is what we're going to do. You're connecting with the kids, and it just, helps in so many different levels too.
I love it, and I love your particular attention to not adding more time or things to do, but actually maximizing the time already with them. Because sometimes these discussions seem like pressure to the
Correct.
parent, to the mom, like, oh my God, yes, great. I'm not doing a great job as a mom. No, it's maybe instead of looking at scrolling to social media during eating time, you can say, okay, this is a time to bring up the conversation. Like, how do you think we can eat better, improve our eating so we're stronger and we feel better and have more energy, and have them bring up suggestions. So this is not a pressure conversation.
Right.
It's a, we're helping you make the most of the time you have. So this has been very good, Dr. Lum. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Now, I have people who are watching who are like, I like Dr. Lum Frundi. I like her hairstyle. I like her content. And I've gotten a lot of information from her, and they want to connect with you, either to have you come speak with them or speak to their viewers or on their own platforms, or they want to work with you. Dr. Lum Frundi, where can people find you?
I am on Instagram at Dr. Lum MD. I also have a website, drlummd.com, and I'm also on Facebook. The Facebook page is Generational Wellbeing.
Generational well-being. I love it. So we're going to have all that information put here at the end of the live so people can connect with you directly. But I really want to appreciate you. I see you at work. I appreciate you taking the time to come chat with us this morning. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you all for watching. This has been very, very good. Please share with those who could find this useful. This could be very encouraging to a parent near you who could use these tips to establish healthy habits without feeling so stressed. And if you or anyone you know is looking for a thorough, a passionate, and a caring family physician in the Mansfield, Texas area who will help you live long and well, I am she. Have a good one, everyone, and thank you for watching. Thank you, Doc.
Thank you.
My